Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto. Hope you're having a great day. So early this morning, I dropped a quick video about what was on my plate, the bullets that I was actually going to do a deeper dive on research, right? We had Gary Gensler being basically the monkey wrench between Binance, purchasing Voyager. You have Israel about to make some moves with their regulations to try to grow cryptocurrency and Web3 Metaverse stuff in their country. You had Binance. Binance bought Toko Crypto a couple of weeks ago, and now Indonesia, where Toko Crypto is actually based, Indonesia is going to have their own freaking exchange. The government is about to launch their own crypto exchange. Like, ooh, oh, that's how you're rolling. So that's pretty interesting. China says their CBDC is moving steadily. I wanted to do some research into that. Like, what does that mean in real life? Animoca Brands did open up a fund for Web3 and crypto. They've lowered the fund number down to $1 billion. I know that's not a little bit of money, but still, it was supposed to be more than that because I talked about it a couple of months ago. The other one was Juno, a bank. They're basically a crypto bank for on-ramping, off-ramping. They're basically going to shut their doors. Yeah, I was going to dig into that, but they're basically going to cease operations. They've already laid off people. It looks like they tried everything they could to try to stay in business, and it just things weren't working out. They had to let people go, no severance. So I think they exhausted everything, and then said, "Hey, we got to let you go." And by the end of the first quarter of this year, that's going to be it. And we got jobless claims today. Okay, cool. Weren't bad numbers, but that's not the news. Like, that's not the news. So the SEC, Gary Gensler and his freaking henchmen getting in the way of the Voyager purchase by Binance. That's kind of news because it's Binance US, and they came out and they said, "Well, we don't think you had the money or have the money," but they won the auction. What do you mean they don't have the money? They have the money. I think what they're saying is the SEC doesn't know if they got the money from Binance, .com versus Binance.us, which is they're supposed to be separate, has their own money. So that's something to pay attention to. But I think Gary Gensler he's just going off the rails. He's shooting for everything. I think he's having problems with the XRP case. It's going to get uglier before it gets better. And it's not going to get better until he finds another job. Now, what really blew everything up for me was the New York Attorney General, Letitia James, is suing the co-founder of Celsius for fraud. Duh! You could kind of see that coming. If you go back and you look at how he's handled himself the whole time, you can kind of see that coming, right? So that was news. I was like, wow, that could be earth shattering, but not really gonna affect my money, right? Maybe, right? Maybe, but not really, because they're already in a screwed up state. It's already factored in. No, no bueno, but still, what it is what it is, right? The part that's blowing my mind right now, Genesis is in deeper trouble than everybody thought, right? I knew that they were in trouble. I know that DCG has options, but I don't think Genesis has options. Genesis laid off 30% of their staff because they're trying to restructure. Usually you claim bankruptcy, restructure, and hopefully you can come back. So they laid off 30%. They're trying to do something. They're working with Moelis and Company and, other advisors to try to figure out what's going on. Here's the big deal. Bankruptcy is not off the table. Now, the reason why this is a big deal is because they loaned money to DCG. So DCG has another payment coming in May. That doesn't help Genesis now. Doesn't help them now. So that problem, although it's Genesis, really plays up to DCG. What are DCG's options? DCG actually has a lot of options. If you go to their website, you can see that they have a lot of assets that they can sell. They would sell any one of those assets or even all of those assets at serious losses, like crazy losses. But they might be able to wriggle out and figure something out. But that's going to have a huge impact. So imagine if DCG decides they're going to have Grayscale sell Bitcoin. Bitcoin takes a dive. First of all, I think crypto is going to take a dive just because of the news about Genesis. I honestly think that. I honestly think it's going to take a dive. I honestly think that there's going to be a serious buying opportunity, and I think we could be looking at numbers below 15,000. Seriously. I think it's going to be below 15,000. Bitcoin, that is. If Bitcoin goes down, so will the altcoins, I believe. Which means that you could see a lot of coins take a dive, and that will be the time to start buying on the dip. Kathy Wood with her ARK investments, they just bought into some GBTC, some Grayscale. That could be a problem for her. Unless she did her due diligence, which I would not be surprised. And she said, no, it'll be all right. This problem with Genesis is slightly bigger than what people think. Yes, there are options. But if Genesis goes bankrupt, there's going to be a lot of things out there that are going to be really ugly. That will be seriously ugly. You know, like I said, I had a whole bunch of stuff that I was going to talk about. I was going to dig into, Animoca Brands, because them dropping their number, right, to $1 billion for their funds. Yeah, they dropped the number because 2022 sucked. But that still says they believe in crypto and Web3. Right? So you take that and you kind of go, so now they'll probably be able to do a lot more with that $1 billion. Because like I said, I think things are going to take a dip. I think things are going to take a major dip. And I think there are a lot of projects out there that probably have some good news that's going to come up soon. That with this Genesis noise, if I'm them, I hold off. If I'm them and I have good news coming about my project, right? I have something going on. A new company is going to be building on our platform, whatever it is. I would hold off, because if Genesis does go bankrupt, things take a dive, and no matter what kind of good news you have, it's going to get swallowed up. Nobody's going to hear it. So I would wait. I would wait to hear that pan out. Wait for the little bit of the dust to settle, and then say something so that my project bumps up. That's what I'd be looking for. But I have to say, crypto has been surprisingly resilient. And that's what I'm listening to right now. Like I said, I had a whole bunch of stuff. You could look at my video this morning. I had a whole bunch of stuff I was going to talk about. But Letitia James taking the co-founder of Celsius to court, suing him for fraud. That's huge. Genesis, mulling over, going over with bankruptcy. That's huge. Calling it a heavy hitter like Moelis and Company. Whoa. Don't kid yourself. Moelis and Company, they're big. They're a heavy, very heavy hitter. Calling them up, that sends a big message, a very big message, right? So for me, I've got money sitting on the sidelines. It will freaking stay there until this dust settles. I still have bags of crypto. I had some money sitting on the sidelines, ready for some DCA, ready for some bigger investments, and I went, wait, hold up, let me keep that bank right there, because imagine Bitcoin going below 15,000. I would be buying Bitcoin in chunks. Seriously. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Polygon. There are a bunch of others that I'd be looking at. Cosmos. There are lots of others that I'd be like, I would be buying big bags Have a good one.